Shortly after the release of an audio recording this past Saturday morning of a conversation that allegedly included,
"What if I told you the WNBA might be rigged from the top down?" We're not just talking about missed calls or bad refs, this goes way deeper. We're talking power moves, secret payouts, and possible corruption straight from the commissioner's office. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver just dropped a bomb. A leaked list allegedly shows WNBA refs getting direct payments from Cathy Engelbert herself. Yeah, the WNBA Commissioner. And it's not just rumors, there's reportedly an audio leak, secret memos, and even an internal investigation. Is this why Caitlin Clark keeps getting targeted with no protection? Are games being manipulated behind the scenes? This could be the biggest scandal the league has ever seen. And if it's true, it could blow the whole operation wide open. So, don't blink. This might be the moment the WNBA finally gets exposed. All right, here's what just happened out of nowhere. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver came forward and exposed what might be the biggest scandal in WNBA history. And he didn't do it lightly. This wasn't some vague rumor floating around Twitter. This was a full-on press conference, an official audit, and an actual list of referees allegedly getting paid under the table by, get this, Cathy Engelbert, the WNBA's own commissioner. You heard that right. Payments, bribes, consulting fees disguised as bonuses. And it all reportedly ties back to Engelbert, the league's top boss. The alleged goal? Keep certain players protected, make others invisible. And if that's true, it would explain a whole lot about how the games have been officiated lately, especially when it comes to Caitlin Clark. But here's the real question. Why would the league silence the very player saving it from irrelevance? Who benefits from holding her back? And if refs are getting paid to look the other way, is anything in this league still real? Let's be honest, Caitlin Clark has been getting punished all season. She's been shoved to the floor, slapped across the arms, elbowed in the gut, and the refs just shrug. No whistle, nothing. And every time she shows frustration, they hit her with a tech. It's like the WNBA is trying to send a message, stay in your place. And yet, Clark's the one drawing sellout crowds. She's the reason your grandma knows what a Fever jersey looks like. She's the reason half the league finally got on national TV. So, why does it feel like the system is built to humble her? Now that this memo is out and an investigation is underway, fans are connecting the dots. All those missed calls, the weird double standards, the refs who swallow their whistles when she gets hacked, but blow it immediately if she so much as breathes on someone. This isn't paranoia, it's pattern. So here's the million-dollar question: was Caitlin Clark being targeted on purpose? Let's talk about Aja Wilson. Look, nobody's denying she's a great player. She's a two-time MVP, she's clutch. But man, that whistle she gets, it's ridiculous. The last Fever Aces game was a masterclass in how to gift wrap an MVP performance. She had 13 free throw attempts. The entire Indiana Fever team combined, barely more than that. And it's not just volume, it's timing. Every time the Fever made a run, boom, whistle, foul. Aja back to the line. It felt like the refs were trying to slow down Indiana's momentum and hand the game to Vegas. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston a dominant post presence. Just like Aja could barely buy a foul call. She got hacked all night and walked away with 2 free throws. You see the difference? This ain't just favoritism. This feels like orchestration. Like someone high up wants Aja to shine while Caitlin and Aaliyah fight through concrete just to get noticed. You ever wonder, is the MVP race even legit at this point? Indiana head coach Stephanie White had seen enough. And honestly, who could blame her? She got teed up in the middle of the game after screaming at the officials for, you guessed it, another blown call on Caitlin Clark. But here's the kicker. She was right. The refs had completely ignored contact on a key play. And instead of admitting the mistake, they punished her for speaking up. What kind of message does that send? You can't protect your players. You can't question a bad call. You can't show frustration even when your players are being targeted. And it's not just one call. This is happening over and over again. Refs ignoring fouls, reversing obvious calls on review, and letting physical play go unchecked when it's against certain players. Now ask yourself, why is it the coaches and players getting fined instead of the refs being held accountable? Stephanie White didn't just get a tech. She became a symbol, a coach standing up against what looks more and more like rigged officiating. And we need more of that. Let's talk about money, because where there's smoke in sports, there's usually a paycheck on fire. Think about this. What's one of the fastest growing parts of pro sports right now? Sports betting. Player props, over-under on points, fouls, assists. Now imagine this, you're a ref. You bet the over on Aja Wilson scoring 25. And surprise, surprise, she ends up at the line 13 times. Coincidence? Or what if someone on the inside is betting for you? That's what fans are starting to ask. Because when you see the same players getting phantom calls and the same players getting nothing, it raises serious questions. Could referees be placing bets? Could they be helping their friends cash out? And if that's even a possibility, then the integrity of the league is gone. Are these games about basketball or about payouts? Here's the thing, fans might not always be experts, but they know when something smells off. They're watching Caitlin Clark get bulldozed without a whistle. They're watching Aja Wilson smile as refs bail her out. They're watching coaches lose their minds on the sideline and get punished for it, and they're done being quiet. Social media has exploded. Hashtags like #JusticeForClark and #RefScandal are everywhere. People are making memes, referees with clown wigs, whistles made out of money, mock commercials with Aja getting her own signature foul call. And guess what? It's not just fans. NBA stars are speaking up. LeBron James, Chris Paul, guys with serious influence are calling out the WNBA and demanding answers. When the fans stop trusting the refs, the league loses credibility. When the players stop trusting the refs, the league loses control. So, WNBA, are you listening? Because your audience is watching, and they're not going away. Let's set the record straight. Cathy Engelbert hasn't stepped down. But if you've been paying attention, the calls for her resignation are getting louder by the day. Fans are done, players are frustrated, coaches are furious. And it's not just about bad officiating anymore, it's about a league that feels rigged from the top down. Engelbert's name is reportedly tied to a leaked memo outlining consulting fees paid to certain referees. Those same refs? Yeah, they've been at the center of some of the most controversial no calls all season. And now, after an internal NBA investigation kicked off by Adam Silver himself, the spotlight's squarely on her. The big question, did Engelbert approve these payouts? Was she actively protecting certain players while suppressing others like Caitlin Clark? And if she wasn't directly involved, why is she so silent right now? Why hasn't she faced the media? Why hasn't she addressed the fans or the players? Because if the league's leadership can't be trusted, who can? Should Cathy Engelbert resign? Or does she need to be removed? Because staying silent at a time like this, that's not leadership, that's hiding. Let's pause and ask the hardest question. What if everything we're hearing is true? What if the games really were rigged? What if Caitlin Clark's rise was intentionally slowed down? What if the MVP race was manipulated? What if refs were making money off their own calls? That would mean every box score, every stat line, every win and loss might be tainted. That would mean fans were cheated, players were cheated, the sport itself corrupted. We're not just talking about a few bad calls anymore. This is about trust. This is about whether people can believe in the game they love. So here's a question for you. What would you want to see happen next? Should the NBA take over the WNBA? Should games be reviewed and reversed? Because if we don't fix this now, the damage might be permanent. You think fans are angry? Wait until you hear what the sponsors are saying. Two of the WNBA's biggest corporate partners are reportedly reconsidering their deals. And honestly, who can blame them? No company wants to be tied to a league under federal review for corruption, especially not one that markets itself as empowering women and leading the future of sports. If they pull their money, what happens next? Fewer televised games, fewer team resources, player salaries dropping, and that momentum the league finally built this year, gone in an instant. Money talks. And right now, the people with money are asking questions. And if those questions aren't answered, this could be the end of the WNBA as we know it. And this isn't just about Caitlin Clark. This isn't just about Aja Wilson. This is about the future of an entire league. Adam Silver stepping in might be the best thing to ever happen to the WNBA. Because now, there's nowhere left to hide. The refs are being audited. The leadership is being replaced. And fans are watching closer than ever. This is the reckoning. And it's long overdue. Will the WNBA come out of this better, Or will it crumble? That depends on one thing, whether they tell the truth. So let me ask you, do you believe the league is rigged? Let's talk in the comments. And if you care about real basketball, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe because this isn't over. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.